Welcome back to Grit Gym. It is Wednesday. Yesterday's show with Rachel was like the best show that I think that she's ever done, maybe that I've ever done too. But if you guys go back and watch that one, it was definitely some really good nuggets in there. We were talking about the conference that we just went to. We were talking about Harry Potter World. We were talking about some of the things that we took away, and we're also and she just did really great. Anyway, I've still got a little bit of a cold, so I'm a little bit backed up. I've been blowing my nose a lot. I think I just have a sinus infection right here. I feel great everywhere else. Like gonna explode. So I sound a little funny, but we're here. We're gonna do the absolute best that we possibly can. So we had the meetup last night, went extremely well. I think we had 32 people all in all, and afterwards we went and we ended up eating 15 pounds of meat when it was all said and done, which is pretty cool. I wonder how many people got meat sweats, but we did not take a survey to find out. But it was a really good time. Everybody had a really good time. If you weren't there, that's too bad for you. It was fantastic. But today we're going to talk about pressure and a little bit about pressure, because when we were sitting around, all of us were sitting around there at Wildwood last night, and people were at the end, enough people had left, enough people had stuck around, and someone goes, they were talking about fat loss and about how they got to get back on the wagon and all this stuff, and one person goes, well, don't put too much pressure on yourself. And I'm like, no, you want to the other way around. Think of it the other way around. You want to gain and leverage as much pressure against yourself as you possibly can. And Rachel was sitting beside me, and I'm like, look at her. Like, I ask her, like, on a regular basis, like, if I'm not working as hard as I possibly can, if I'm not pushing myself, if I'm not doing the things I need to do to be able to provide the kind of life for us that we want, and I mean that not in a monetary sense, not just in a monetary sense, but in an everything sense, like health, career, vocation, what's the word for like my purpose in life. If I'm not living up to that, she needs to kick me in the butt and get me going and remind me, hey, you're not here to live a normal life. You're not here to go into the status quo, and this is what you told me to do. Get your ass out there and get moving. And so I asked her to do that, and she does that on a pretty, she doesn't have to do it on a very regular basis, because I'm extremely convicted under what I do, but this person wanted to lose fat, and the thing is, you don't want you don't want to not put pressure on yourself. And her reasoning was, well, what about the perfection thing? Well, we know that perfection and pressure don't have anything to do with each other. Perfection is the enemy of good. Perfection is trying to do better than your best. Good luck with that. Doing better than your best is a setup for failure. It's just like, okay, well, if I have to be perfect at everything that I do. Well, you try to be perfect at everything that you do, I guarantee you I know how that's going to turn out. You're trying to do better than your best. You're setting yourself up for failure so that you can prove to yourself that you deserve to feel like you're not enough, which is bullshit. That's not true at all. So perfection and pressure have nothing to do with each other. And the cliche quote is pressure makes diamonds, which is accurate, but it's a little funny to use in a daily sense. So I'm going to try to, throughout this presentation, I'm going to try to bring it all back. I'm going to go through some different points on what this person said and what the conversation was, and why pressure is such a good thing. And some of it's going to feel a little uncomfortable to talk about for me, and probably a little uncomfortable to listen to. But the thing with this is but not too much pressure. The person says, don't put too much pressure on yourself. We've got to realize, like, this might be a friend, it might be a family member, whatever, et cetera, et cetera. What this is an alibi in the status quo. It's an alibi in staying normal. It's an alibi in staying regular. Normal, status quo, mediocrity. It's like saying, please just be mediocre with me. Don't go out there and put so much pressure on yourself that you actually get successful, because then you'd leave me in the dust. So I don't think this person realized what they were saying. I don't think most people do when they talk about, when they say those words. I don't think most people, it's not, I don't think, a lot of people think it's the haters that are going to bring you down. The haters aren't going to bring you down. The haters are very clear. Haters are approvers, for one, but they're not going to bring you down. The people that are going to bring you down are the people that you never expect. The people that are like, yeah, we support you in that, but don't go being successful, because then you'll make us look bad. If you prove that you are enough to have everything that you want, then what does that say about me? We don't want that. So if whether you're one of these people or you have other people in your life, I don't think that it's necessary that you have to cut them out of your life, but you have to cut out and confront them on those statements when they say things like, but not too much pressure. Don't put too much pressure on yourself, because that's like saying, don't become too successful at what you're trying to do. Don't go thinking that you actually deserve that thing. Don't go thinking that you're enough to pull it off, because that's BS. It's BS to think that the idea that people think that being realistic is a negative thing. Being realistic, like if you were a robot, like if you looked back 10, 20 years from now and you think, okay, what could I have accomplished back then? Is it more than what I did? I bet you, in your mind, realistically, you can say you could have accomplished more, you could have done X, Y, Z, you could have pushed yourself to do whatever. Well, in 20 years, you're going to be able to say that same thing about right here and right now. Now, with that said, why am I saying that? Because that makes it realistic. That's the realistic thing that you could do. Realism, if you are going to get realistic, it has no ceiling, has no cap, has no, to be realistic, you are like an infinite amount of energy, creativity, and curiosity and courage that you can build up. You are not this finite piece of matter floating through space, like your skin and your bones and your, like that kind of stuff, and your the years that you're going to live here in this body might be, but otherwise we're a bunch of elements that are just going to keep on being and changing into other things. Like I said yesterday, I got a little existential and at the end of yesterday's talk, and I'll try to stay away from that. But the point of this is that that's an alibi, that friend was an alibi in mediocrity, and you do not want those people around you. And if you do have those people around you, you have to confront them. You have to confront them. And that was my job last night, to confront this person. And confrontation, I think it's a really negative connotation. The thing is, you can delay a confrontation, but you cannot avoid a confrontation. It's going to happen at some time. So you might as well do it right then. That's what we were talking about yesterday with kill the demon when it's a baby, or kill the dragon, or kill the monster when it's a baby. It's kill the monster when it's a baby. But if you want an incredible life, you want to leverage as much pressure against yourself as possible. And the next question out of this person's mouth was like, well, don't some people not work as well that way? No, there is not one person on the face of the earth that would not benefit from more pressure. Don't tell me that if even me, this person, it's that I consider myself extremely disciplined, but I still think I could probably work a little bit harder. I could probably eat a little bit better. I could probably work out a little bit better. And if I had a coach that was with me every 10 seconds of the day, and I was the coach on somebody's shoulder, slapping the food out of their mouth, do you think that they're going to eat out of their hand before they put it in their mouth? Do you think that they're going to eat better? Yes, of course. Everybody does better with a coach. Everybody does better with teammates. It was the next portion of this conversation. And like the point of that is, like take a wrestler. I remember when I was in wrestling, it was like a psycho mess. It was like people were nuts in wrestling practice, where they conditioned us. And if you haven't wrestled, you really have no basis to understand what it's like. But it's crazy how hard you go for a 2 to 3 hour period of time. I mean, you're just basically sprinting with short little periods of rest in between. So we would just go and go and go and go. And eventually I remember the whistle would blow, so you'd get a time to rest, and you'd get like 30 seconds to rest, right? And I'd be like, I remember thinking in my head, like, God, just please let me die. Just let me die. Just let me die. It was so painful during that rest period. It was just like, let me die. Let me die. Oh my God, I don't know if I can handle this. Let me die. Let me die. Let me die. The whistle would blow. You do it again. If that whistle hadn't been there, if that coach hadn't been there to blow that whistle, and the social kind of I don't know what to call it, the everybody else going on that whistle, even someone that's an extremely hard worker, even someone that has a massive amount of conviction, even someone that is very disciplined, I don't think that I would have gone as hard without that thing. I think it's one of those constants. There's certain things that you can argue with, and there's certain things that aren't. And a lot of people want to go, well, that won't work for me. Well, I would contend that is you not working for it, not the other way around. It works for everyone. Across the board, there is no one on planet Earth that does not do better, and no one that has ever existed that does not do better with a coach. It does not do better with teammates. I don't care how antisocial you think you are. I don't care how much of an introvert you think you are. Everybody does better with pressure. And the application of the pressure, I think, does matter. If you're sitting there putting pressure on yourself in a negative way, that's probably not exactly the greatest thing in the world. If you watch the movie Whiplash, or you watch like, what's that movie with, oh my gosh, the guy from Dawson's Creek, about the football. Varsity Blues, if you watch that, the coach is just kind of an asshole. I don't know if that's necessarily how we want to go, but no one does better without a coach. No one does better without teammates. Getting up in the morning. People are like, I'm not a morning person. I'm just like, bullshit. Everybody does better when they wake up in the morning and they get after their day. Just because, like you saying, I'm not a morning person, so I can't go work out in the morning. It's not you actually not being able to go work out in the morning. It's because you don't want to wake up. You just want to sleep in. That's just like, duh. And maybe you do that on a Sunday, but you don't do that every other day of the week. But if you want to have an incredible life, you want to leverage as much pressure against yourself as possible, and you want to confront the people that are alibis and keeping you in the mediocre, in the status quo, in the normal, because that is a garbage place to be. But the other thing, to go back to another wrestling story, that like in those times, there would be times when I was like, let's say you're on bottom, somebody's working at you, and they're trying to get a cradle, they're trying to get a half, they're trying to put you in a pinning combination, and they want to get better. So everybody's going hard. The harder I go, the better he does. The better he does, the better I do, right? Because we're giving ourselves something to compete against. So if I sit down there and I don't go hard and I don't give him a good look, then he's not getting better. So once in a while, one of us would kind of peter out. We'd be like, you just lock up and try to not let him have it. And we'd stall. Well, stalling doesn't help either of us. It only makes us all worse. So if it was me on top, I'd take his head and I'd slam it into the mat hard. Not just a little bit, I mean hard. And and it would just be like a wake-up call, like, hey man, you're not working. It wasn't like mean. It was like, I care about you, I'm going to slam your head into the mat. That sounds really screwed up, but it's true. But it's accurate. And so that would make, like, one of us, we'd start to work. We'd start to go. That's why teammates are so powerful to have. If you have a teammate around you, you will go harder because that teammate pushes you to, just by them being there. It's kind of like, that was our way of saying, give me your best. Give me your best. I want your best. And then I'll be able to rise my best, and then my best will rise your best, and then best, and then best, and then best, and you just keep on getting better and better. But wrestling was one of those times where it was a psychotic mess. No one would do that by themselves. I mean, maybe some people, you might go work out, you might go do this or that, you might be an extremely hard worker. Don't tell me that you could have done a little bit better with a coach. Don't tell me you could have done a little bit better with teammates. No one would push themselves that hard. No one would push themselves that hard. If that whistle would go off, the timer would go off, and they were all alone, at that point, when you're ready to break, I guarantee you, and I don't think a lot of people would push themselves to the point where they're ready to break, or where they lock up, or where their body gives out. When you get to that point, and that whistle goes off, and you were by yourself, I guarantee you, the temptation to just hang out, just peter out, be done, would be so incredibly high that it would be insanely hard to make yourself do it. And people do it, but it would be so much better if they had a coach. It would not. The coach keeps them accountable. And if you think of it in terms of fat loss, would someone be better off with a coach walking around with them every day, all day, slapping the food out of their hand, or saying, yes, eat that, yes, don't eat that? Of course they would. One of the biggest challenges as a coach that deals with fat loss and strength and conditioning and all the stuff that I deal with is that I only get about 2 to 6 hours a week with each client. So 2 to 6 hours a week. Well, each week has 168 hours. That means that for 162 to 166 hours a week, they are on their own to do whatever they want and screw up everything that we've worked for. So those 2 to 6 hours in that week that we've been working out could get completely tarnished by them eating ho-hos and bacon, and nothing wrong with ho-hos and bacon, but you don't really get to just eat tons and tons and tons of it if you want to try to lose weight. So when we get into this thing, like that's like the wrestling thing, that coach applied pressure. The teammates applied pressure. I'm not talking about perfection. I'm not talking about reiterating a fear of not being good enough. I'm not talking about any other thing that can hold you up. These are all separate things. Pressure is its own deal. Where I lost my track of my notes. And the thing, I think a lot of people get really scared of pressure. I think it's like anytime that I was in sports, I remember we knew when we had to condition. It was a certain day of the week, and we had to go do a 7-minute drill or county fair or something like that. And all of us, we were all nervous because we knew it was going to be painful. We knew it was going to hurt because exercising isn't comfortable, and it shouldn't be comfortable. You go there for a short amount of discomfort so that you can feel so much better on the back end. You don't go to exercise because exercise feels good. You go for what it gives you. It gives you the ability to live your life the way that you want to be able to perform in your life. The thing is, like, a lot of people get scared of that. They get nervous. They're like, I like the way you explained reality. Oh, thank you, Aaron Shaw. Yeah, I don't think of reality as, like, people are like, are you an optimist? Are you a realist? I'm just like, not, like, yeah, I'm a realist, but let's get real on what realist means. It is illogical to think that you're not enough. It is illogical to believe the lies that you tell yourself. It is not logical. It is not realistic to think that you are not enough to do the thing that you have planned to set out to do. It isn't. Realistically, if someone has done it before, then you know that you can do it too. To a certain extent, like, am I going to be 7 foot tall? Well, if I wanted to bad enough, I could go and get my legs extended. You know, like, there's surgeries for that, but I don't want it that bad. Anyway. Where was I? So there's a difference between it not working for you and you not working for it. Everybody does better when they wake up in the morning and they get going. Get your body moving, get things going. You command your body and you command your mind. You command your mind and you can command your body. I don't know if that's a paradox, but I definitely know that it's a cycle. All right, I'm pretty sure that it's a cycle. But I like to say that the only thing I know for absolute certain is that I do not know, because a lot of the time things come up and there's a new perspective every day, and sometimes makes the old one wrong. But everybody's going to work better in a team. There's some things that people can point at and say, well, that doesn't work for me. And there's some things that you just, no, don't give me that garbage. Everybody is going to work better in a team. Everybody is going to get more done if they have teammates. Everybody is going to get more done if they have a coach. Everybody is going to do those things better if they have a coach. Everybody's going to be more efficient with the teammate and the coach. Everybody's going to do better if they wake up early in the morning. Everybody's going to do better if they go to sleep earlier in the night. Some of these things are constants. They're like gravity. We all get pulled on 9.8 meters per second squared. Gravity is pulling on us 9.8 meters per second squared. Every person. You throw a rock up and down, even right now. That pin was getting pulled by gravity at 9.8 meters per second squared. But anyway, pressure is a very, very good thing. Don't think that pressure is a bad thing. It might make you a little like, oh God. That's you getting nervous that you might not be able to live up to the pressure that you're pushed upon. Good. If you're getting a little excited, man, if you get a little excited about your goals when you write them down in the morning, good. If you get a little nervous once in a while, like, I don't know if I can pull this off. If you don't have any doubt in the world that you can pull that thing off, man, you're probably not thinking big enough. You probably need to re-up your goals a little bit. And if you don't have any doubt, then go and make that thing a reality. Make it happen. Make it a reality. You want to be down at 10% body fat? Make that thing a reality. I'm not saying everybody should walk around at 10% body fat, but especially if you're female. But the point of the whole thing is that it's okay to feel a little, like, it's understandable to feel nervous. It's not reasonable, but it's understandable. So that's where you gotta, like, nervous. Oh God, somebody's putting pressure on me to get things done better. Well, now I've got to manage my fear and I got to push real hard. So anyway, that's my little take on pressure. I think pressure, you will not be the incredible being as you could be without a coach. You will not be as incredible as you possibly can be without teammates. They are constants. I don't care if you're an introvert. I don't care if you're antisocial. I don't care if you hate people. I don't care. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, those things are not. I don't care about perfection. Any of that stuff. It is going to be. It is going to be a constant for every human being. We all do better with a coach. We all do better with teammates. We all do get more done in less time and perform better with pressure. Pressure is an extremely good thing for all of us. It is not arguable. And for the last few seconds here, my son says practice makes perfect. I tell him, actually, practice makes you better. Keep practicing. Oh, that's awesome. I love that. Aaron Shaw says, my son tells me practice makes perfect. And then she says to him, actually, practice makes you better. Keep practicing. Yeah, I think that's excellent. That's very much growth mindset. That's very much realizing that, taking the word perfect out of it. I think perfect is a very silly word. Why would you want to, even if you could do it perfect, why would you want to? Even if you, like going back to this thing with the teammates and the coaches, even if you could do it all alone, if you could do everything that you wanted to do all alone, why would you want to? Like at the end, I only want to celebrate by myself. Yeah, sure, that's fun. But why would you want to? I want to do it with a bunch of people. It doesn't make any sense. No matter how you logic it around. But anyway, I got a lot of stuff to do today, so I got to jump off of here. But thanks for being here, guys. This is one of the more watched ones. Please click the share button. Send this out to everybody you know. And comments. Thanks, Aaron Shaw, for the 2 comments. Really appreciate it. And what do we have going on tomorrow? I don't remember, but I'm pretty sure it's an interview. Yeah, Eric. Eric is on the show tomorrow. It'll be great. We have the Eric and Adam show, and at some point here, I gotta throw up the logos that we did for this because I think you guys will enjoy them a lot. But anyway, thanks for being here, guys. Really appreciate it. Please click that share button and send it out to everybody you know. See you tomorrow.